Hey, it says it's on. All right. Well, hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, daily updates. Be a weird first video. It would be a really, really weird first one to watch. So I'll focus on the welcome back part, not the if it's your first time, because unless you want your first time to be seeing a guy on the verge of going insane, being locked in a room, uh, talking to himself uh, in a camera. But yeah, so if you didn't see the update video, you're like, why'd you call it this? Whatever. So I do have COVID right now. As you can tell, I sound pretty fine. I feel really good and all that. So I'm fortunate that way. But no one else in my family has it, so I'm trying to isolate. And I have been pretty darn bored. Uh, I do walk Bruno twice a day, and then other than that, I'm hanging out in this room. So I know a couple guys will be joining and jumping on, so that'd be nice. Oh, appreciate it. Thanks. um, I'm just kind of getting this started before they join. I appreciate it. I don't know which person's behind this right now, but thank you, whoever it is. But I'm guessing it's Dennis. So thank you. Yeah, I am. I'm feeling. Despite the fact that I keep coughing, I just haven't talked today. I think is maybe the whole thing, but yeah, I started getting it a little bit, and Saturday night, super low level cough, super like I'm having yeah a little bit of a cough, more like but different than when I get a cold, and like the first thing I notice is in my throat, right? And then Sunday, a little bit more coughing with a really slight runny nose. Oh, and I'm sorry, Saturday night I had a bad headache. So Sunday, little headache, but nothing serious. Cough, tiny runny nose, and then Monday, like um, cough basically started going away. A little bit of a runny nose. Took the test. Took two tests or took a test Sunday, negative. Took once Monday when I got home from work, positive. Took another one to make sure it was positive. Yeah, they're both positive. What I'm getting at is like every day it's like different than the day before, which is weird. There's like like not hangover, but like there's carryover. I mean to say, and then there's like the prominent thing. So then Tuesday was runny nose day, slight headache, barely a cough. Wednesday headache, barely anything else. Today barely anything. So like I haven't retaken a test yet. I gotta look like when you're supposed to do that, but I'll be able to go back to work Monday, which is like the big thing, and I want to like feel like I'm not contagious to then start just like hanging out with my wife again. So that's kind of where I'm at. So anyway, but yeah, I've been super bored, and I'm a very social creature and have not been able to socialize. So this is pretty good for me. I am not a fan of talking by myself on these things, so I cannot wait till one of the other guys shows up. What's up, Billy? How you doing, man? I will get to the beer, I promise. That's another thing too, is like what a weird thing to feel, but like I feel this guilt that I haven't been reviewing beers, and I'm like, people send me beers, and I will, I know this is pressure that I'm the one putting it on me, reviewing beers. Well, you're at the wrong place to be hyped. You should have no hype right now, Joe. I appreciate that, Dustin. Yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, what a weird thing. And I had this weird thing where I had a proper just cold like a month ago, almost exactly a month ago. And that was a very normal cold. But by comparison, what I'm experiencing now is so much lighter. Sorry, the Wi-Fi light alert came on. Now I'm paranoid that this isn't even recording or even going out there right now. Um, I hope it is. Um, but anyway, it is. It's if it is still broadcasting out there. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm so fortunate. People I know, people have been telling me, the different like levels of intensity. People who have had COVID, what they've experienced or are experiencing right now. And for someone who has any symptoms, I have. I mean, I couldn't imagine having less symptoms than I do, and still have symptoms that could be noticed. Um, like in a pre-COVID world, I would have easily have gone to work every one of these days. Like I never felt that out of it, as an example. So like I'm super fortunate. I know that has not been everyone's story, and as I said in my update video, if you have strong opinions about COVID, or this is not the place for them. I'm not interested in that, or the politics of it. But yeah, I'm just trying to vocalize. I'm very fortunate. I realize I am very fortunate about it. Um, yeah, the lighting is driving me crazy. I was messing around with it, and no matter what I do, um, yeah, the lighting. So let me do it this way. That's probably better. Just then I get the glare on my head, which you can imagine why that drives me crazy. Sorry, I was responding to this one. Yeah, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. I need to get a new computer. I need to get a better setup for up here. Yeah, a while back, my wife's like, sometimes you can record up in your room. You don't have to always record in the beer cellar. And I'm like, the setup up there is just garbage up here. I'm like, I got to get a better setup. But anyway, yeah, thanks again, Dustin. I appreciate it. Yeah, taste and smell. Great question. Because obviously, I mean, just anyone would be nervous about, are they going to be able to, taste and smell, like the guy I ride into work with, surprised no one. He also got COVID. I don't know who gave who it or whatever. I'm sure we didn't get it at the same time. I'm sure it had something to do with one of us got and gave it to the other person, and he lost it just for a day. He said, I have not at any point lost it. I know some people have gone months, so like it's everything in between. But right now, I'm good. I got nothing. All right, thanks for the hey. We got another person. Yay! I hate doing this by myself.
It's
No,
the
man,
worst, right? It's the absolute worst.
I hate it. I'm sure I've said this anecdotal, not even an anecdote, but anyway, I never had it. I would, being a young man, I thought I was pretty funny for a while. So I'm like, I should probably get into comedy, right? And I could never be a stand-up comedian. I'd have to it would have to be improv with other people. I hate me just talking. Even like when I'm teaching, I'm never just like professing. I'm always like trying to get the students to talk, and because I'm not a professor in both senses of the term. But anyway, what's up, Matt?
What's going on, man? How's life?
I tell you what, I was just talking. I'm so lucky. To my knowledge, it's the first time I've had COVID, and it's as mild as can be picked up upon. So I'm like really acknowledging how lucky I am that I got the lower. I'm assuming this is Omicron, which we know is a lower variant for most people who get it. I'm post vaccination, so I know that also lowers symptoms and things. So I'm very fortunate and appreciative of that.
I would actually just kind of step back a little bit and at least give yourself a little pat in the back for getting vaccinated and boosted, not just to be lucky. It's a little bit more than luck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's err to science. You're lucky that you haven't had any bad reactions, but part and parcel is that is doing the right thing.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, for ultimate, yeah, you're right, and that has been a frustrating thing. Is I have yes only done everything the right way. So I guess if I was going to get it and for it to be as mild as it is a good combination. Um,
Yeah.
I get it. Um, Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I'm getting on people.
Okay, Adam. What's going
Little
on, Adam?
little
Adam
headache.
Mercy Bears. I saw that you click up one of his comments. So
Yeah. I was trying to gauge how everything was looking and sounding, and he was nice enough to fill me in. Could do like tea reviews or something. As my friend Greg was joking about. As my main laptop is in my shop, I'm gonna back up one. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, this is not the best setup on my end for sure. Billy. So here, Matt, I know you have thoughts about a fresh Bigfoot.
is that Mortalist Billy Rossi?
Do you want to? What's your rule on Bigfoot? It's 10 years, 5 years.
Bigfoot. Well, Bigfoot needs to be aged minimum 10 to 15 years before you're allowed to drink it.
Years old.
But as I posted in the group chat, they're releasing Bigfoot in 128-ounce bottles this year. So there
Because
you go.
that's needed. Little hello to you.
Still on the FA beers? Yes, I am. Are you a big Brewdog? As you are a big Brewdog fan, have you managed to catch the damning Brewdog documentary yet? So this is kind of an inside joke between me and Adam, kind of like how much I've kind of hated Brewdog over the years, and then when he sent me a care package from the UK with some beers in it, but also a little bit of swag. One was a 10-pound note that he owed me because we won a bet, and then the other was a couple like Brewdog little baubles and trinkets and stuff like that. Actually, one of them, it's right here. I don't know where I put the other thing, but
I love
this
this.
nice sweet Brewdog book because of how much I like them. And then he gave me like this little Brewdog enamel pin. I don't know where I put that because I'm redoing my little studio here. But yeah. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. None of anything that came out was surprising to anybody in any form or fashion. It wasn't like, oh my god, wait, you're telling me the head of Brewdog was a misogynist and they kind of cut corners when they're moving their brew in the United States? Who would have thought such things? So yeah. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Chilling. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good. COVID sucks. I agree. Hello, Vanessa.
Good evening, Dustin.
Saying hello. And I will not be going to that website. Cheers to you as well. And the Heineken share thing threw me for a six. Yeah, I read about that today myself. Yeah. They're like super anti Heineken, yet he owns stock in Heineken. And like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess in the United States, we're used to the opposite, where like politicians can directly influence stock prices and they can own stock. So here he is not selling Heineken, even though he owns stock in Heineken.
Well, the whole like punk thing, you have to denounce Heineken, but then behind the scenes. But you're talking about really Brewdog, and I'll be the first to admit this. I'm not going to shy away from it. I actually enjoyed their TV show a little bit, just from an entertainment standpoint. They were always kind of ahead of the curve when it came to like trying to be like super edgy guy. The problem with that is super edgy guy is now not that cool, and they're just. It seems like everything they're doing. Or not even not that cool, just not that proper. It's, people evolve and change. And they've shown no kind of pivot towards anything other than that. So they're kind of leaning into their persona, and their just personas becoming tired and shitty.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I like this comment. We are like the beer Avengers. Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you, Dennis.
Wait, we have to wait till everybody gets on, and we're going to have to say who is who. We'll have to pick who is who.
I'm the most useless. Who's that, Hawkeye or something?
Groot?
Groot?
No, it'd be whoever it was. It'd be Bautista's character, I guess.
I like this idea. Elvis Juice is probably the one where I've gotten the most comments. From Brewdog, you should review this beer from them. And I haven't.
I will say this, and I think I do have a couple reviews of them early on. They made some really good beers, especially back their Paradox series when I did the Isle of like Jorah and like some of their darker, bigger beers and stuff like that were quite fun. They were doing a lot of Scotch barrel aged beers, obviously with the tie-in of who they are. They were doing a lot of Scotch barrel aged beers where people weren't, and that's always been kind of one of my favorite barrels. So.
They were. I mean, to be fair, I'm not acting like I was never a fan, and I watched the show like you said too, Matt. And going back to those early days in craft beer, they were an earlier one I could get, and I drank a lot of them. And then kind of growing up on punk music, a beer that has the word punk in it, I was like totally that dude for a bit, and then you started hearing more rumblings, and it's like, oh wait, who are these people? What are they all about? Oh, my guys, just trying to keep sane as I'm
Yeah.
Trapped in this room. Original Elvis juice was decent, but then they dropped ABV, increased to synthetic grapefruit. Two thumbs down to that, man. So, Mike, I saw because you sent me a picture of it, well, and a video. You were looks like you were riding your bike, which was very strenuous. You were pushing it, man. I do a very lackadaisical recumbent bike ride myself, and you were like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna like get a sweat going," and I was like, man, very impressed.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. It's also hard because I only have I only had a shirt on because I know I was gonna send you a video of it. I'm usually out in my garage shirtless and barefoot, and my garage is like around 0 degrees. It's very very cold.
Oh wow.
It's fucking freezing. So
Well,
it's usually pretty brutal. Even like when I went out there, like it hurt. My feet hurt on the floor. It was so cold. So like
so
that, and I saved the video right as I started. So just like pushing through that, how horribly cold it is out there.
I
But
had put. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so I do push it pretty hard though. It's kind of it's the only way to kind of warm up out there.
No, it makes sense with the temperature you're combating. Yeah. No, I for people watching, I had put out yes, or was it today? Whatever. Yesterday, or today. I'm like, yeah, I would love to do something like this just because I have not been socializing. So Mike got back at me at like I don't know what it was, 6 o'clock today, 6 p.m. And he's like, hey, we still doing this? And I'm like, yeah, hope you can do it. So he sent me first a video. It was just like kind of like how we're seeing Mike right now, and he is like out of breath. And I knew what he was doing, but luckily then he sent a second picture of his legs that were obviously pedaling a bike because just what I saw from the video, he was
Different kind
pedaling a
of
bike,
workout. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
because I knew what he was doing, I knew my mind didn't go there into the gutter. But if he had sent that to other people, like on his
Just in
OnlyFans,
case.
they would have assumed other things.
So, before just quickly off topic, just
Yeah.
because I want to ask before I forget. Um, are you like super quarantining? That's why that like airbed's in there. Like you're in that room by yourself.
Yeah, so just because like my youngest had it a couple weeks ago, my other daughter, she works different hours than I do, so I haven't seen her in a long time. So it's more for my wife's benefit.
Yep.
I mean, we were together clearly when I had it before I, had symptoms. So, but she still isn't, having any symptoms. So it's like, yeah, might as well until I'm not contagious. So, yeah, I mean, that's weird. It's been a trip. I'm off of work, but I still am like working. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been sleeping in here. She's been really good about like bringing food and then grabbing the dirty plate and wearing masks and everything. And I still take Bruno out for 2 walks a day and all that. But yeah, it's mostly just me sitting in here and sleeping in here. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a social creature and I haven't been able to socialize. What's up, Keith?
Hey,
Keith, I know they're not your favorite band, but My Bosstones
I
broke
know.
up today.
I saw that.
Another ska band.
What happened with the Boston's?
They broke up
Retired.
today, or they
Broke
did. They
up,
announced
yeah,
that they're
yeah,
done
yeah.
making like being a band after. But they've been banned for like my whole life. I think they go back to like 1983.
Yeah, and they
Something
haven't
like
written any music in 30 years either, so don't worry about it. We're good.
In 30 years, they haven't had good music.
No, they haven't written music.
Oh, written. Well, I don't know. I knew he was it the Jimmy Kimmel show, right? Wasn't the lead singer like early on his band guy?
Mm,
I don't
I
know.
think.
I forget. Yeah.
Oh, the hype guy, the guy that danced it around or whatever. What's his
Wasn't
name?
there?
You know the guy. You're part of the
Yeah,
band. He doesn't do anything but jump around and
they
dance
jump
around and shit.
around.
His name
Job I
is.
want.
I think his name is Ben Carr, and I only know that because I heard it today because people were talking about the Boston's breaking up and what's the guy who only dances gonna do now?
I saw them live at Foxborough Stadium at a festival kind of thing. Maybe when I was 15. They're really good. It was really really fun show.
Yeah, I think I only saw them once at Warped Tour, and they were. I mean, it's like a 30-minute set, but they were good. Billy, that's pretty cool, man, to see them. I haven't seen either band with any lineup. Here's a beer question that Keith will enjoy.
Your thoughts on how lagers are coming on? You mean like getting popular?
That's how I'm taking it.
Yeah.
But Peter, if you made it differently, just clarify. But that's how I took it. Like, I see an uptick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you this: if someone asks me to go to a brewery and I look at the lineup, it's all IPAs, no lagers, I don't go.
Hold on.
Really?
My mic
Yeah,
isn't
I won't.
working. Hold on. Can I change it right
It's
here?
working fine for us. You sound
sounds
perfect
good.
to me.
Yeah, we can hear it. That is how Peter
Hello?
asked the question. So we are.
Is that
addressing
better?
it the way he intended.
It's no different than it was before. You sound fine
Oh.
in general, Keith. You don't.
Yeah, Keith, you sound great, man.
It's weird because there's like a little blue light on my mic that just tells you it's plugged in, but not connected. Because when it's connected, it turns green, and it was blue. So, but sometimes it works even when it's blue. I don't know. It's confusing.
If I could jump in on the lager question, I have conspiracy theories here.
Ooh.
So yeah, good stuff. No, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Pours the light. No, like honestly, lager is kind of like a twofold. Got like mad lucky. Like if you think about it, like because like brewers always like lagers, but like technically in the grand scheme of things, it was something that they couldn't brew a ton of because they'd lose money. You're talking about something that takes less materials, but takes at least twice, if not longer, to properly make. So you could turn and burn a hazy in 2 weeks, whereas a lager you're looking at minimum 4 weeks, preferably 6 weeks or longer. So
And they're not soluble either.
yeah, you can't charge as much either, and really tank time is worth more than materials. More, I'm not saying blanket A versus B, but then you're talking about them wanting to do, breweries like craft breweries want to do lagers, and they started to kind of do them like as boutique-y stuff. And then COVID comes along, and what happens? Sales go down. Logistics, global, talking about logistics of getting product, supply chain stuff becomes infinitely harder. So what do? You brew something you don't need as much material for, and you also have the shifting beer drinker, which is a lot of people ended up drinking at home more. And I know, drinking at home more often than not, I'm drinking low ABV beers as opposed to high ABV beers. So I think it was a perfect storm for lagers because you had breweries wanting to make stuff. They had a little extra time in their hands because they're not selling as much. They don't have to use as much raw materials, so supply chain issues aren't as big of a headache. And then the drinker themselves kind of pivoting towards something lower ABV. I think it was like kind of a perfect storm for lagers.
It
That's
felt like
really well put. Jesus, I didn't think about any of that.
I was gonna make a joke and just say it's because everyone's a brewer these days.
Oh, damn.
Because you get it. Because brewers like drinking lagers and stuff. It sounded better in my head. It was funnier in my head.
It was good. Because like the last, I don't know, 5 years, any of those lists that were like, what's gonna, be the next big thing or next year, and I just feel like Pilsner, lagers, specifically Pilsners, were always on the list. Like, yeah, next year is going to be their year. Next year is going to be their year. And I do think, yeah, there's been this perfect storm for it to actually start being potentially their year again.
I never confused them. I combined them.
Ooh, efficient and effective. I like it. Walmart. He might have too much energy for the Walmart crowd.
Yeah,
hey,
don't you have to be
gang.
over? Don't you have to be over 87 to be a Walmart marketer? Isn't that like a prerequisite?
Yes.
Well, but again, I mean, who knows how old my Boston guys are? I mean, if they started really back in the early '80s and they
80.
were 20 then,
True.
True. Yeah.
Who knows? Wikipedia knows.
Matt. Oh yeah, we did this one.
Ooh, Matt, you color my beard. Yes, I did. I dyed my beard. I am currently in the job market, and I wanted to go into it not looking old and gray. So I decided to darken the beard up a little bit and not look like a fogey, because my beard was essentially almost pure white by the time Christmas came around.
I tell you what, I dyed my beard too, and it's driving me crazy. I haven't dyed it recently because it's not like symmetrical, and that's what drives me freaking crazy. Like I got this giant patch here and here, and it's all I can notice. It drives me freaking crazy.
Well, my thing is because I've never done it before is just trying to find a balance. So it's like my hair and my body grows so fast that like I found a dye like a wash-in dye thing that was fine enough for me, but my hair grows so fast that like a quarter inch to an inch of my beard would be like white. Like a line, and almost like you drew a line. So the other day I tried to finagle with it, so it got a little darker than I usually put it. But yes, I am pretentious enough to dye my beard. Well, I'm pretentious enough to do a lot of things, but beard is one of them.
You know what? I started going bald when I was 20. I started going gray when I was 30. I have no qualms about dyeing my beard when I want to. I don't. I just.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just yeah.
I don't think anyone here gives a shit.
This is for the people at home who are being judgmental. Like I don't know.
Like Keith probably is.
Hi Dan. So Dan's being judgmental right now.
So Boston's did form in 1983,
Yep.
and Dickie Barrett is almost 60 years old right now. So
57 years old.
Yeah.
Which
So
is almost
83.
60, Michael.
How old were we all in '83? I was 7 years old.
I was -1.
I was -4.
That's how I knew they were 83 because that is the year I was born. So yeah,
Okay.
that's an easy one for me to remember.
Sierra Push. Okay.
So they're your favorite band. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. It's conceived Boston's.
Yes. I mean, Kolsch is basically you're just cold fermenting ale yeast. So, it's the time that you let it ferment and give it the time that it needs to in order to come out as a well done, not like super rush kind of lager. Now, there are some people that can do lagers quite quickly. Jack's Abbey can turn a lager, and like I think a really good crispy, like not even crispy, but a well done lager because it doesn't have to be crispy to be a good lager, but a good lager in less than 4 weeks. But more often than not, yes.
All right. If you go into a job with a beer that's colored and like the next month it's completely white, might raise some questions.
No. See, I've thought this out. See, you're thinking about this in the short term. So what I do is I go in there, I get this job, and what I do is I slowly let it become gray, but not over a month, but give it like 6 months, and I'll be like, they'll just think I'm like working so hard. They're like beating me into the ground and like working me way too hard. We're like, this dude just got here and we're turning him gray. Be like, give this man a raise. Let's lighten his workload. I got it all figured out, son.
I love it.
Or I can keep dying it.
For 83. Watch review on the same Adams. Yeah, I watched that one today too.
It's
I love
really
that
good. I'm
beer.
drinking it right now.
love
This is like
so good.
legitimate.
It's good, yeah.
Like I would, if somebody out there in the universe send us mystery beers and throw these in there when you do it. I really want to know if I don't think I'd be able to tell this is a non-alcoholic beer. I don't think I could. Now I could be wrong. I've been drinking the NA beers for over a month now. Who knows? But I think it's delicious.
If I remember correctly, I had Kyle try one, and his wife said it was trash.
Yeah, I was just gonna tell that story. Yeah. But there's only. Okay, I think I don't want to mischaracterize her. I think there's only 2 responses that she has to, hey, what do you think of this beer? Either it tastes like beer or it's trash. I think those are like the 2. Like, there's not a lot of nuance there.
It's really all you need. I mean, we're idiots that say all the crazy shit. She's got it down.
Nice.
You know who makes me laugh when she tries beer is Sean's wife. Like, she's like, "Oh, Carrie, try this." She'll be like, "I hate it." It's immediate. Or she likes it, or it's. I can't believe it passed over her tongue yet. She's made a determination. It's
My favorite
That's
thing, and I've never really hung out with her in any capacity, is that I think it was a couple, like, it might have been a couple of the earlier Christmas ones in a row. He, like, reviewed something and then asked her to drink it, and then she's like, no, I don't want that one. Kind of like, okay, what do you want? I'm going to go downstairs and do this thing. You could keep the stuff that you like. And she didn't want it, and you left it, and later on she's like, I changed my mind. This is the best thing I've ever had. So he's just like, there's been a couple, and that's happened a couple times where she's like, this is trash. And then later on, she's like, no, that's delicious. That's even better.
That's after she had a few other drinks, I think. Yeah.
No.
and actually gave herself time to tell if she liked the beer or not because she actually tasted it before weighing in. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if Sean was
Maybe.
going to jump in, but at no point did he say he was available, so I assume he's busy. So speaking of not drinking alcohol, Mike, are you doing a dry January yourself? I know I've heard rumblings, but I haven't heard like an official thing about you not drinking.
I'm not doing dry January. I've been doing a no drink for 28 days from whatever the hell I started. I don't know when that was.
Okay,
I think I'm finished 2 weeks now,
okay.
so
So
not necessarily dry
halfway.
January, but yeah.
Okay. And I know, I
But
mean, you do a video with Thomas, so I guess it's not like a secret because you guys do a YouTube video once a week about it, but it's just kind of like a getting healthier thing. And
yeah, I mean, I realized it back, I think, in when I was in Florida in November, in early December. Not that I realized it, but I sort of like kind of hit a point where I was just kind of getting fed up with a lot of shit, I guess, with physically. And I talked to Thomas about maybe just sort of having a weekly thing where I come up and just fess up to my sins and where I'm fucking up and trying to get better. And it seemed like a couple weeks in a row, like I would weigh myself the day of, and it's like even if I was like mostly not drinking and mostly eating okay, and it was like still going higher. Like
really,
yeah, so I sort of after a few weeks of it, I was like fuck this, and I just the beer. I don't drink enough beer honestly to make it that big a difference, but it was sort of just an additional part of discipline. Is my idea, like I do wonder if I've had a few beers, like if those Doritos are gonna look a little bit tastier.
yeah.
Shit like that.
And I think
No.
like I'll be drinking and it's like, well, I should probably eat something again just to kind of help soak this up. And it's just like, no, you probably have enough food in your system already from dinner, or you just want to drink a little bit more water and then you'd be fine, buddy. But it's like, no, I probably should eat some more pretzels or whatever. Wait, fruit smoothie beers or yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, but to that point, and that's kind of what I was leading towards, because like, so I'm 38, going on 39, and I'm not. I'm not breaking any news on this right now, but I was like, man, like once I hit 40, do I kind of stop trying to like do a video or two a day, or like when, and like Matt has talked about this, obviously having the son, having a young son, and like maybe having to think. And I'm like, man, like when do? Because like I have definitely been gaining weight, and
Sorry.
there's only so many ways I can cut, calories from what I'm already consuming, and drinking big beers all the time is an easy way to kind of curb that. I'm kind of like trailing off, hoping someone interjects.
In what way? Like it's just health and beer overall? Because like when it comes to like YouTube beer reviews, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the history, there's a lot of people that have fallen by the wayside because of health issues. Not taking care of themselves, stuff like that. So I think it's something to keep in mind when your hobby, or I would say for most of us, it's a obsessive compulsive hobby. It's not something. It's not like we're willing to stick in the background. We're actively going out of our way to do these things on a daily basis. So it's more than just a hobby, like a generic hobby. I mean, it can get away from you. That's part of the reason why I did what I did. And, it took, for me, it took having a kid and wanting those things in my life just to be a little bit healthier. Listen, I ain't running marathons. I'm not a triathlete. That shit's not happening. But it also has to do a lot with me changing my habits. I'm a creature of pattern. And, a lot, when I would do beer reviews, sometimes it would morph into me do beer reviews, play video games, and drink too much. You know what I mean? And that would happen from time to time. And I just didn't want to do that. So for me, I can have beers and stop, but I was in the patterns where I was like, I'll just play video games until I want to stop playing video games, and I would just drink it the whole time I'm playing video games. So now it's like, with me kind of shifting stuff, I come in here, I do some beer stuff. When I'm done, I go out, play video games, and do all that kind of stuff, and kind of separate those two things. And that's part of the reason why I did what I did for myself, because I know how I am and I know how I have to do things. And to Mike's kind of what he was talking about as far as weight and stuff like that, it was one of the smartest things I did, I guess, over these past month and a half, 2 months. Was I didn't weigh myself at all. I was just curious to see how I felt and how like my wife perceived me and stuff like that genuinely. And like I didn't lose a ton of weight. Like I lost 20 pounds, so it's not like I didn't lose a lot of weight.
That's a
But
lot.
well, dude, I was, I was 280, 275. So in the great scheme of things, percentage wise, it's not as much as what,
You
if
get
someone
it.
loses 20, if someone's a buck
Yeah.
80 to lose 20, you think they have cancer,
No, I get what you're
Um,
saying.
yeah. So, but it was like, it just how I felt, man. She was just like, just how you feel in general and just being, I don't know, happy about it. The reason I'm doing the things that I do is not just for my son, just so I can keep doing things like this. I can keep hanging out, having fun, and hanging with the friends rather than being like, it's over, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
like I told Keith, was the first person I told about, I'm going to take 2 months off. I'll come back in February. It's not a end all be all thing. I'm just going to kind of step away. Then I started thinking about doing non-alcoholic stuff, and I was like, I'll do some of that, and it ended up being really fun. There's a ton of that
Yeah.
good stuff out there. But anyway, so yeah.
No, I like it. I like it.
Was
And
the
yeah,
oh no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
well, I'm
I
just
was
going to
gonna-
read what Peter sent me, but people can read it as you go ahead.
I
Keith.
read it.
Yeah, no, I meant like anyone can. Yeah, it's a good point about because I do drink bigger beers sometimes, and it is a good point. I just wanted
Oh, I think if the government ever, well, the government, I don't think it ever could put that's not true. If they ever put the stipulation you have to put like the nutritional value on beer, I don't think breweries could do that because I think it's beers vary so much, and I don't think it's cost. I don't think they'd be able to survive the cost of chemically analyzing each individual beer in order to put like calories on it. But if they did, I think people would be blown away by like like honestly like a 750 of like for Angry Chair Stout, like a whole 750, not even serving size. Well, no, serving size of that. They, in order to keep it below like 500 calories, it'd have to be like a 2 ounce serving size. Do you know what I mean? They'd have to be like, 8 ounces is like
Yeah.
875. It'd be like 3 Big Macs per 8 ounce pour. You know what I mean? Like I think that's genuinely what it is. So like people don't realize, they just out of sight, out of mind. Man,
Yeah.
those things. Good God.
No, it's true. We have another question if we want to pivot away from this. But Keith, did you have something you wanted to add?
I was gonna say something, but I don't remember. Oh, I was gonna ask Matt. I didn't watch the video yet, but it was the ESB good, the athletic.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, the Athletic ESB is good, and I'll tell you what's even better is this one. It's their Lodge Life, which is it's a smoked like little like English dark ale or whatever. It's got little smoky jams to it.
Oh, yeah?
It's really yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's dude, I have their black IPA and a Schwarz beer too in my fridge. The black IPA is really good.
Both
Dude,
from athletic.
All athletic, and like right now, I don't know how long it's going for. But they have you can use some kind of Reddit code. Like you guys in your browser when you buy stuff, there's a thing that pops up and be like, "Hey, coupon codes."
Mm.
So for like there's some kind of Reddit 30 is the code or whatever. I ordered 3 6-packs shipped to my house. It was $26.99, I think.
Cheap.
Wow.
For 3 6-packs. So you're talking about they're like 12, 13 6-pack. It was something like 30 to 40% off or something.
That's awesome.
Oh.
So they could, I was like, and I'm like, hell yeah, I've been banging that stuff. So yeah,
So we'll have different, maybe some overlap, but we'll have different responses to this one. Chris Beer Geek Nation was one I watched a lot. Matt, as I've said many times, I watched. Joe from Jow's Arcade. Am I forgetting? Those are the 3 come to my mind that I watched before I did it. What's his name? He had like the panel, like he built like a studio, and it was
Better Beer Authority, that guy.
Yeah, Better Beer Authority.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that stick out that I watched before I started doing it myself. But like Matt, when you started, there were people who did it before you, but like
Oh yeah, a
it's not
ton.
like now
I mean,
where you can just you know.
no,
randomly-
there was There's a lot of people, honestly. Like you talked about Stelzy, he's not around anymore. You talk right, and Rashawn was out on the West Coast. He's not around anymore. He does like some homebrew stuff every now and then. Peter from Master Hoppets, he started so young that watching him. Who else did a lot of Canadian guys I watched actually. Whether it was like Chad from Albino Rhino or Nick from Maxwell Starbeer Reviews. Those kind of guys. But it was Stelzy, Joe D from time. I was never a big Joe D guy, but I watched him. There was what's his name? He screams all the time. I watched him every now and then. Joe from the Beer Patrol is a big friend with him. What the hell is his name? He was from Maryland. I forget his name, but he's like I forget. He just screams the whole review. It's pretty hilarious.
Like DJ?
Yeah, DJ's BrewTube. Yeah, DJ. Yeah. It's like he did a line of coke, but I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying it's like he's like and but Peter Master Hops is a big one, and like I said, Beer Geek Nation and the Canadian guys were probably the big ones that I watch. I'm sure I'm missing somebody.
I think I know Mike's answer, and I have a guess at Keith's answer.
My answer is
Mike
none.
didn't watch any.
Nope.
And Keith didn't watch any.
Before I started my channel? No, that's not true.
Well, I guess okay, fair enough, because you would have watched some people.
So I watched a bunch of Matt's because like Matt was like the first person. Oh, I do beer reviews on YouTube, and I had not been. I don't.
Yeah, I met Keith in person before you watched my videos. It's like it's opposite of what most people is. You know what I mean? It's like people are like, oh, I saw you. It's Keith's like, what? Who's this asshole? And then he started watching him and give me other half every day.
But and then at BeerTuber Palooza, all you guys had channels and stuff. So, and then I started my channel. What, a month or 2 months after that? Like a month and a half, I think.
Wait, when was that BeerTuber Palooza? When was it?
2019, right?
Yeah,
And what,
3 years
September?
ago.
August, September? So a couple months later, you started your channel. So what you're saying is you're the reason for COVID.
Yeah.
Keith started.
Think about it. The timeline matches up, man.
It backfired, though. It was supposed to be everybody stayed home and subscribed to my channel, but
I have nothing else to
it
do.
didn't
I've gone
work.
to the entire internet. Wait, what's this new channel on YouTube? 93 Lumber.
He's the Ultron of BeerTube.
That's awesome.
No, but so I watched a bunch of Matt's videos, and then after BeerTuber Palooza, I'd like watched like No Hype and Nerd Sense and Beer Patrol and I found out about Darwin at BeerTuber Palooza, so I watched his videos because I hate myself.
To be fair, Keith hated himself well before he found BeerTuber Palooza or any of the channels.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
Yeah, I feel like Sean and I, we had the audio podcast for a while, and I think people cared more about the beer than the actual other shit we talked about. So I just kept pestering Sean. We should just do beer videos. We can get them done quicker than these stupid long form fucking podcasts that no one likes. And we did. And then,
so do you still do the other stuff? It's mostly just beer reviews now.
Yeah, I think we sort of transitioned. Like it was like, gradual. I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was but through doing beer tubing, I found other people, and then that's how I started watching anything at all. So when Sean and I started doing it, we had no idea what we were doing. It wasn't like I had no blueprint. I was just like, this beer tastes like. Yeah. It was done.
Fair enough, Peter. I won't weigh in then. Keith, that hasn't gone away for them. We just don't blow up the main group chat with all the nerd conversations. We have a separate one where we have all the nerdy so yeah, it has just morphed into a group text of nerdiness. Yeah, I'm super excited to try this beer. I think Hot Butcher has been doing triple IPAs well, and I liked the regular one. So yeah, I think it'll be fun to try a bigger version.
I like Kyle just assuming he's getting in the mail. I can't wait to try that.
I will assume. Well, I'll put it this way: it's not in tomorrow's unboxing because I just did
Yeah.
an unboxing from them. But yes, if I'm lucky enough, fair enough, to get it, I would be excited. Although we do get a little bit of drops from them in my area now, so you never know.
Yeah, we see random. I see not in Jersey, but when I'm out in PA, I popped in like random places too. Not like super hype bottle shops. I'm sure those places have them. They just sell out really quick.
Yeah.
Just these really weird little places. I walked in. I'm like looking through the cooler. I'm like Blazed Orange. I was like, that's weird. You know what I mean?
That's one of the ones that my local place had. They had Blazed Orange and the one that glows in the dark, the thematic glow.
Yeah, thematic glow or something. Yeah.
What do they cost out in the wild?
20s. In the 20s.
Yeah,
Mine, I think it was 20 and change, like 22, 24 or something.
Aren't like all their six packs, 4-packs, like $16?
No, but they're like 15 to 18 minus a couple stragglers. The lager's a little lower. The bigger one's a little higher. They're usually priced really well, but once it leaves the state, then who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I meant from the source.
But yeah, they relatively speaking, their prices are pretty low for what other breweries charge for similar products. Yeah, but yeah, I want to say it was like $5.50 a can, maybe by me for like the Blazed Orange as an example. Yeah.
Do they keep the cost down because they don't have like they don't yet have a place that they're paying all the overhead on?
Well, they do now, but
Well, I mean until now.
Yeah.
Just curious.
They bought a half acres facility because half acre built their larger facility. So
did they?
But I don't. They
move
must
in
be.
Yet?
They have to. I don't see why they would drag their feet. You know what I mean? Like what was that? Probably September maybe is when they did that. And why would they not be making beer in there? It's already made to make beer, all that stuff. I would, let's get in there rocking and rolling. I don't even know. Look at their cans. Maybe the cans say something different on it as far as where it's brewed. Might not say Miskatonic or anything on it anymore.
I gotta look. That's interesting.
I got in my fridge.
Yeah, Peter. So Hot Butcher does send out a good amount of beer to different channels, and I think some people on Instagram and stuff. I'm gonna sound biased, obviously, because they do send me a lot of beer. They really like the feedback. Like, I see a lot of people on social media who get beer from breweries and other products, and like the expectation is just you are publicizing it on your Instagram, and usually there's like some sort of contract, like we'll send you this, and you have to put 3 posts and 4 stories about the product or whatever. Yeah. Whereas Hot Butcher is just like, we want to hear feedback, So like, I would argue it's a little bit more pure of a process. We're not wings of advertising. They do get advertising out of it inherently because people are talking about their product, but there's no written agreement to promote. There's no written agreement to only say positive things. There's no social media requirement, which is really nice. And then the only other brewery that I get beer from is Pariah sometimes. And same thing. It's just like they like the feedback, and there's no expectation of me putting it into my stories a certain number of times or whatever. So I don't get a ton myself. Matt, you've gone from some of the bigger ones like Stone and Lagunitas, I know.
Yeah, they like the bigger ones. Basically, once you get on a list for them, for the most part, you just get beer from them kind of semi regularly. Like, like Ecliptic is a big one for me. Like I get shipments from them. They're out in the West Coast. They're not huge, but they're bigger. They just send me beer like every 3 weeks, and it's like if I don't post anything, they keep sending them. Kind of call in. Lagunitas is weird. Like they'll send stuff for a month or two and then stop, and then they'll send stuff for a month or two and then stop or whatever. And that's like a lot of the breweries. Like they'll do stuff like that. And they never go, hey, are you gonna say this? Are you gonna say that? Um, like then there's breweries like there are places that kind of like reach out to you and be like, "Hey, we have beer. Can we send it to you? If we send it to you, could you please, do 3 stories and 2 posts and use this hashtag?" And that's whatever. I'm just like, I'm not gonna do. I don't even write back. I don't say no.
I
I
forgot
just
about the
ignore.
hashtagging too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there's breweries kind of like then there's 2 different breweries. Like there's the Hop Butcher World, which is like we're gonna send stuff and you're gonna say stuff and I want to hear what you have to say. And then there's breweries that's like there's breweries like I'm gonna send you stuff and they don't say this, but they're like, I can't wait for this person to say really, really nice things, and then you don't say really nice things, and then just don't write back or send you more beer, So it is what it is. But like I posted in the group chat, like was it last night or this morning or whatever? There was like somebody wrote me like an email that said, "Do you like cask ales and how do I send you beer?" And it ended up being from a brewery in New Jersey. It wasn't like a regular human, but it was like the wife of the husband of a friend or something. You know what I mean? It wasn't like directly from the brewery. And like she's like, "Shoot, I'm gonna send you some stuff." And then I always have to be like, "Hey, give them the spiel," and be like, "Whatever comes out of my mouth hole comes out." You know what I mean? Like, I purposely don't want to shit on people, but I'm purposely not gonna say nice stuff. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna talk about whether I like it or not. If there are obvious technical flaws, I'll talk about it. But in the grand scheme of things, whether I like it or not and why I like it or not, and that's it. There's no 5 caps or 93 garbage or fucking whatever. It's just, whether I like it or not, and that's what's going to come out. And almost universally, everybody's like, that's cool. And, was it a couple days ago, I got a phone call from a guy texted me actually, or emailed me saying, hey, can you give me a call? I had no idea who it was. Well, no, I did because of the email address. It was from a brewery in Pennsylvania, and he was like, he's like, I've been repping them for like 2 years now, and I noticed your breweries weren't that good, so we want to send you some stuff because we got a new brewer and all that kind of stuff. So you can tell some people are trying to rewrite the narrative, but then it's still like you send me stuff, I'm still going to say what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? There's some people that are like not happy with what you've said in the past, but no one's ever been like F you that I can remember. One only time I've ever taken a brewery review down ever was when a brewery I really enjoy and I really respect took me to side, and there was like a cease and desist issue like with a musician who was like going to sue them because of this beer and its name. And he's like, we're trying to scrub. He's like, the review is really good. You know what I mean? Like I really enjoyed the beer. He's like, we're just trying to get all remnants of that existence off the internet so we don't get in trouble. That's the only time I've ever taken down a beer review. And that was more like doing a friend a solid rather than just being like, okay, they gave me free shit, so I took it down. But yeah, you were there, Keith, right?
I remember that story. I don't remember the brewery.
You were. Well, let's put it that way. You were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was I in the review? Or?
No, you were when the guy came up to me. You were at that brewery with me. We traveled to the brewery, me and you, when that guy approached me and asked me that. You might have not been next to me when he said that stuff to me.
Oh.
You remember now. It's okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I have no
Doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyway.
Mike, what are you gonna say?
I know that if because Sean and I, RB doesn't get that many views, so it's not like brewers are hunting us down to send us shit. But Hop Butcher, if I'm critical or I'm always polite and everything, but if I'm clearly not enjoying a beer, I get a message later saying, "Hey, what do you think?" Like it's not like it is never like what the hell's going on. He wants to know what I thought and what he thinks might have happened. It's always like I've never ever felt like any pressure to just be really really nice to them, except that they're nice people.
It wasn't. It happened at least once, maybe even twice, where especially like when COVID first hit. I know Fiden's was one of them, but it might have happened a second time at a different brewery, where they had to close their tap rooms and they just found the video and they're just like, I don't remember if it was positive or negative, the reviews, but it was like, it's just so nice hearing someone talk about the beer. It's not just like a number on Untappd, which means nothing to me as a brewer and brewery owner. Whereas actually like being at a tap room and talking to a real person as they're drinking my beer, and like it was so like I think like in a good way, like Matt, I not that you have to tell any stories, but there was, and maybe I don't want to cross the line by even asking, but like I remember a story from you about Stone and the way to enjoy what they sent, and it wasn't even beer; it was food.
Oh,
It
tell me
was
more.
like they
Maybe
had
I'm.
like the peanut butters or something, and you're supposed to like eat
Oh,
the peanut butter
oh
while you drink the beer or
no.
something.
I vaguely remember it was that it was like kind of like a hazelnut spread or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, they sent me the spread and then they sent me the beer and they're like, you do this and that. I vaguely remember it. The spread was really, really good, by the way. Um, but it was more like, yeah, I don't like that stuff. Like, yeah, you eat the like.
yeah,
I remember. I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
But it was like, I think, but that's Stone. I don't think that's Stone trying to tell me what to do. I think that's Stone trying to be a little bit too like kind of cool and be like, hey, this our shit's highbrow. You do this and you do this and your experience is out of the world. Like I don't think they're just trying to be like, you need to eat it this way and then do
Okay.
this because then your mind will be blown, brother. I think it's more like them just trying to be like, we need to figure out a cool edgy way to kind of make waves. And I'm like, yeah, this is dumb.
I saw their what was it? They did like a nut butter or something with one of their IPAs.
That's what it
That-
was. It was a
yeah.
nut butter, but it wasn't an IPA. It was a darker beer.
Didn't
I
they
forget.
do
I mean,
more than one beer?
I reviewed the beer. I just didn't do like the nut butter portion of the show. I just didn't do it.
And it was like $6, and I didn't buy it. I was like, I was super curious. Like I looked at it a few times and stared at it for a while, but I just
St. Aaron makes really good beer.
Yeah,
I've had a couple people send me St. Aaron stuff from
it's-
Chicago.
it's so weird, because before doing beer reviews, I didn't really care about like whatever. I would just drink beer. Oh, this is good. This isn't whatever. And I feel like I heard more about breweries in those days than I do now. I don't know if it's something I'm not paying attention to, or because like pandemic, I'm not like around more people.
I don't think you're chasing it as much either, Keith. You know what I mean? You're not trying to find a news.
That's
but,
true.
To speak to Peter's question, the actual opposite of this, which is, the smaller ones might push you to hype up their beers regardless. If I'm going to sit here and be like, get like kind of a little bit weird about stuff and get like a little bit angry, if I will, is that there are some breweries that like reach out to you and be like, hey man, can I send you beer? And be like, yeah, man, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. And then they do that for a couple times, and then they actually get really popular, and then just find somebody who's like way more popular than you and forget about you completely. That's happened to me a couple times, and that pisses me off. I'm just like, really, dude? I'm like, really? You're like, hey, can I send you stuff? And be like, yeah. And be like, and this is really good, and I'm talking all great shit, and then they get like a little bit of pub, and they're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna send stuff that don't drink beers. I'm not sending stuff to you anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Really? I was there with you along the way, and that's the exact opposite of Hot Butcher. Hot Butcher is just like, when they first sent me beers, I was like, yeah, whatever. Now it's like, it's whatever, and just constantly, like, Jeremiah will text me randomly on a Wednesday being like, what do you think about this? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I hope that got to the heart of it, Peter, and what could potentially be problematic. I think that's a pretty interesting part of the discussion, certainly, trying to, we're not doing anything, I would argue, that's not above the table, above board. Doing dry January again, and a friend turned me on to the Hoplark Hop Teas. Been really enjoying them, and you're probably going to keep drinking them and are going to, yeah. I don't like seltzer, and it has a little bit too much of that seltzer vibe for me, but I know Mike and Sean at Nerd Sense really like them. And they're real,
I do
think
too,
they're
Kyle.
relatively- What's that?
Jeez, I do too, Kyle.
I didn't know you liked them. Nice.
Or am I not supposed to use your name on your channel? Sorry.
No, it's Kyle is right in the name of Keep Kyle Company is the title of this video.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I did not know that about you, Keith. If I'm allowed to use your name in the video.
Please don't.
Sorry, Kif. But yeah, no, the premise of it was amazing to me. I don't like sparkly water. I don't like seltzer. If it was just like you made it like a tea, like a brisk tea, but like it was just hops and some tea. I'd love
There
it.
there are ones that I do enjoy with the carbonation, and there are absolutely ones that I feel like I wouldn't enjoy if they were just flat, just regular. Hey, Alex.
Just had this year's Hop Slam and really enjoyed it. Hoppy, boozy, honey, but crisp. You guys have it yet? I haven't had that beer in a few years.
Yeah, it's not hype
It
beer.
must
So.
have reviewed on the channel at some point, so I'm sure that would be, yeah. I'd
I
have to
haven't
look
seen
it.
it. Not that I'm looking, but I haven't seen it. I'm actually really curious. I always like to drink that beer every year. It's not like one of my favorite beers, but I always pick it up. But kind of the regional version of that by me, which would be Trogue's Nugget Nectar. They did like a double version of that this year. A double Nugget Nectar. I'm really curious about that one.
Because Hop Slam is Bell's?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bell's Hop Slam. So now it's, what would that be, Kieran? Is it Kieran? Kieran Hop Slam? Who bought Bell's? Was it Kieran?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so Larry Bell sold the brewery like a month ago.
I
yeah.
forget who they sold it.
Yeah, but again, it was
it's hard to keep track anymore.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was called a joke that did not land. But the Nugget Nectar one, I'm really curious about that. Hoppy red ales, baby. Come on now.
I haven't liked Hop Slam in the past, so I don't look for it ever.
They sold to. Oh yeah, Kieran. Yeah.
Okay. Who's Kieran owned though? There's like a bigger thing that people know that Kieran owns.
Do they own Sapporo? Whatever it's called.
Sapparo's owned by Sapporo owns like Unibrew and all that kind of stuff. Sapparo's
Bell's Brewery to sell to Japanese beer company Kirin to be operated by New Belgium.
There you go. Oh, Matt Hack in the comment actually said it.
Yeah.
But back to Matt Meteor's thing, because have I told Hop Butcher that I want lower ABV stuff? I don't have to. They know. No, when they send off, when they make lagers and low ABV stuff, there's almost more often than not when they send stuff off, they're in there. So like this package that I got, I think the package that I got yesterday or the day before was the same exact one that everybody else got, and there wasn't really anything lower ABV in that. I don't think they've made anything lower ABV because of that move. Maybe might be a little bit more difficult for them to get their lagering program back up or something like that. But they know because we share love. You know, when we did the interview, the group of us here did the interview with Jeremiah last time when we did it on YouTube and stuff. We waxed poetic about Half Acre and Miller High Life and all these low ABV beers. So he knows. They know. Well, they did send me. They did send me a champagne lager. So
we gotta just straight up ask them when or if they are already brewing out of there, because that's a good point. Like it was pretty consistent, Hop Butcher stuff, and then they're doing these single hop beers, which now I'm wondering too, is that part of them trying to see how the new system, like, okay, here's what we think we're going to get from this hop based on our old system and the new system, because they are just now doing this new single hop series.
Yeah, well, I would guess. Again, we could just ask, but I'm almost certain they're brewing their core lineup at Miskatonic while they brew all this new stuff at their new place and start to figure out what's going on along the way. So they're not going to sully any of their best hits. You know what I mean? Let's keep that solid. Let's learn what we learn on a new system, on this new stuff. Do single hop stuff or do this new stuff over here. So that way, if it's a little bit different than what it is, it doesn't matter because people won't know any different. And then learn the system. And then once we eventually get everything tied up, either keep contracting it in Miskatonic because it just makes sense, or just move everything to a new facility. Probably what they're doing.
Do you think that's why they? Because I saw they did like the that bear porter.
Yeah, coffee bear.
Yeah. Do you think that might be? Because I've seen that beer before, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we got a version of that with other
Well, no, because they did Fat Bear and then they did Big Bear or something like they did. I think this might be the third or fourth bear they've done. Right? Didn't they did Fat Bear and then Big Bear and then some other kind of bear and then this Coffee Bear or Peanut Butter Bear or something like that.
Didn't they do one called like Dirt Bear or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like
maple
that.
one.
I forget. They were all good. The ones I've had were good.
No, their stats are super underrated. Yeah.
Has anyone here had any Kirin beer besides the Ichiban?
I
Oh,
had
you're
to have.
bad.
Maybe. I don't know.
I went to the Kirin brewery, I don't know, 12 years ago, and their beer was really, really good. Like really, really good. Yeah, but I never saw anything except the Ichiban here. And Ichiban here, I think, is brewed by Anheuser-Busch. I think it's not the shit they serve in Tokyo or Yokohama. I think is where the brewery was.
No.
But they had a few things on draft there, and they just kind of give you a glass and you can drink a bunch of it. It was awesome. Just curious.
No, I am not. No.
That went nowhere. My bad.
Other than, I mean, Bells now, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't. So I've never done one of these without drinking a beer. This is
You should got some
sober.
non-alcoholic stuff, man.
I know I should have grabbed some. Should have ordered some apparently and had it delivered to the house.
Yeah, that was a good thing because I know I have COVID. Like I know I tested negative, but my wife has COVID and I feel not normal and stuff like that. So that was like, oh, I can't drink. I'm like, oh no, I can drink beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm not drinking beer. I'm drinking malt water. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, speaking of Hot Butcher, I did like a 5%er from them. And I was like, maybe I should drink that for the live stream. But I was like, well, I know Matt and Mike aren't going to be drinking anything. And then Keith, not last minute, but closer to us doing this was like, yeah, I can join. I didn't know if he'd be drinking or not. So I'm like, well, I might be the person drinking a beer then, or like an alcohol beer, sorry. So I'm like, yeah, why even do it? Tomorrow I might, I feel so good today. I'm sure tomorrow I'll feel even better. So tomorrow I might have a proper beer because I haven't been drinking anything. I like this question because I haven't had a ton, but I did have that Hells that you had from, what is it, Two Root, right?
Two Roots, yeah. Where'd you get that?
I got that in that First Sip brew box, actually, because you can send
okay.
beer. And yeah, I thought it was, it's not a style I drink a lot, but I remember liking it.
Yeah. Two Roots has surprised the shit out of me. Like I found out about them from viewers telling me during doing the non-alcoholic stuff. Check them out. Athletic has been really good. Like their stuff has always been fun. It's readily available by me, and they're quite nice. I think they're tasty, but their pilot program has been really, really fun. But honestly, like the Sam Adams just haze. This beer.
Yeah.
This is like drinking a regular haze. Again, you have to like hazy IPA. That's a stipulation here. But this is by far and away, like if I were to rank 1 through 10 best non-alcoholic beers I've ever had, this would be 1, and then we'd leave 2, 3, 4, and 5 blank, and let's pick it up at 6. That's how much better this is than every other one. It's that much better. And I said this in my review. This is better than any IPA that Sam Adams makes.
Also true.
Yeah. I will say that the original, like first test batch of Rebel IPA was really good.
The first Rebel Raw. So they did what's called Rebel IPA. Rebel IPA. No, they did 2 different ones. They did Rebel IPA.
Oh no, I've had it,
which was really, really tasty. But they also did what's called Rebel Raw, which was like a 10% triple IPA. But here's the kicker: for whatever, like beer people, like reviewers or journalists or whatever, they packaged them up in a cold bag and overnighted them to you. So like they would can it on the 10th, you'd get it on the 11th, still cold in the package. And they did that twice, and they sent 2 cans each time, and they were delicious. They were really, really good. But then the mass-produced ones were still tasty, just not that electric. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, same with because I think they came out right around the same time. Long Trail, their Limbo IPA.
I remember that beer.
That test batch, that like first limited edition beer, and then it became a widely distributed beer. That first limited batch was so good, so good. I don't know.
Bill, you might have gone off the live stream already, but Russian River, still the best flight I've ever had at a
Facts.
brewery.
That's like a humble brag. That's a Billy Rossi 4600. They're like, see, peace, guys. We get dinner and beer at Russian River. And like,
Oh, it is. It for sure is. Yeah, yeah. No, I like. Yeah. Well done, Billy.
I guess I'll go.
I love the food and everything at fucking Russian River. That place is awesome.
Yeah.
Such a good
Yeah,
time.
I was lucky enough to go as well. It was awesome.
Never been.
And Kyle's right. That's the best flight you can get of beer.
In the price, I remember coming back.
Because don't they? Yeah, isn't it like 2 flights of like 10 beers and it's like $18?
Yeah, it's like 20
or
beers, and the prices for 20 beers very cheap. And it was. I came back to the Binghamton area of New York. I was at a local brewery. I'm like, yeah, like Russian River was charging, I forget whatever the price was, and I got 20 different beers. It was the North in Endicott, man. Actually, Keith, do you know that brewery too? The North.
yeah.
Yeah. So
one of my
back at the North, I was busting his chops about it.
One of my all-time favorite beers is from the North, actually.
Which beer? One of their smoked beers? I'm not making fun of you.
Was that
No.
weird one I shared with you?
No, it was a stout. It was Mean something, Big Mean something like
Yes.
that.
Mega Mean.
Mega
Which
Mean.
is- which is one of the
way
best
back,
beers.
way back.
Ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I finally opened my last bottle maybe a year ago, and it was still delicious. That beer.
Yeah.
Got a 4-pack of Space Hop from Sam. Haven't touched the gimmick yet. Is the gimmick the non-alcoholic? Is that what?
I don't know. Space Hot. Maybe they took like seeds into space and then made them like hot or something.
Barrel Brothers Brewing, Windsor, Sonoma, California, does some great non-A beers this time of year. Oh, nice.
No, no, not nice. This is a brewery I told you guys about. So, I like, not that they're not good beers. I can't speak to that, but like 2 breweries that came up a couple times when I did the non-A stuff, non-alcoholic stuff, was the Two Root stuff and Barrel Brothers. So I was like, okay, that's great. So the same night, the same afternoon, 2 people commented again. Gotta try 2 different people. Gotta try Two Roots. Gotta try Barrel Brothers. I'm like, screw it. I'm like, it's NA beer. I'm like, I'll go online and order it. Like, why am I not ordering it? So I go on, I fill up my cart full of Two Roots stuff. I get like a case of beer. I go in, shipping free. That's like a big thing. Shipping free, obviously, big thing on everything. So the prices were decent. Shipping free. Okay, great. I go on to Barrel Brothers. They had really interesting stuff. They had some barrel aged non-alcoholic beers. They actually had a barrel aged Creek that was non-alcoholic. I put in $46 worth of beer. It was $48 shipping.
Yeah, I remember this. That's
I was
crazy.
like, that's not. I'm like, I get shipping. You say, okay, throw me a 20. Throw me $15, fine. But it's cost more. And it's not like I ordered 1 6-pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'm ordering like $46 here. You're trying to charge me $48 for shipping. I'm like, screw you. So, while I would love to try their beers, and I don't mind paying for shipping, even though it's great to get free shipping, I'm not paying more than what I paid for the goddamn beer for shipping. This is freaking Bach rider over here, get a little treehouse across country shipping mule fees.
No, that's crazy. I was able to go to the Coors. This was more recent. I don't know, 5 years ago maybe. It was, I mean, just such a huge brewery, so that was cool. And we got, I don't know, 2 pours at the end, and they had all the Blue Moon stuff. But it was just cool seeing that. I've been to bigger breweries, but not the size of freaking Coors. So that was a cool tour. They did take 60 pounds of hops to space.
This was my
Yeah.
flight, sorry, to go back to Russian River.
So how many
That's
beers are
that's
on now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
how
16
8.
much
beers.
that flight? How much that flight cost?
I think it was like $14, $12. It was cheap.
There's
Yeah.
a brewery. I mean, Keith isn't here, but there's a brewery by us called Source Farmhouse Brewing. A flight of 4 beers is $22.
A 4?
Four beers, $22. Like they're 4 ounce beers. They're the exception to the rule, but I just had to mention it because I hate that shit. I was like, really? I was like, I just got a
It'd be
flight.
cheaper
And
to get
it's,
4 pints.
no, it wouldn't be. Remember, Keith, when we went to Source and we got a flight, and the flights were like 18 to $22 a flight or something like that?
Suarez?
No, Source
Oh,
Farmhouse Brewing.
oh, yeah, because
Mike, show him the flight that you got a Russian River.
Oh, I literally just
This is-
closed
this
up.
is
the
I've seen pictures of people posting like, "Oh, this is what the flight of Russian River is."
Yeah, it's a $14 flight at Russian River.
Right,
Yeah,
so
so
hop
this
into
was-
space and then.
I love how Mike just had it up and it's impossible to get back.
Get rid
well,
of
I have like thousands of pictures on here, and I when I get back to a picture I want to show. Now I have to go all the way back and try to find that.
a lot of nice selfies you got to go through first. Yeah.
Peter Wilson, you are so right, Matt. I have no idea what this is referencing, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, you're correct.
I haven't been not for beer. No, I just actually I haven't been to Virginia since I was a
God,
kid.
I can't remember, man. I might have been
Yeah.
like 18 last time I was in Virginia.
Yeah, we went to
really-
Virginia Beach when I was a kid.
There's a couple breweries that are down there. Suspended.
There you go.
And
Keith.
There you go,
And-
Keith. Keith, that's a $14 flight.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I've seen that.
It was cheap.
And it's like barrel aged, fruited wild
Yeah.
ale. I mean, it's just like
Because it's what, one of everything on tap.
So sometimes it's actually 18. Matt, the other thing I was going to show you is this. I found a picture of this while I was trying to find that.
Oh, that's the Rebel Raw. There you go, buddy.
nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
I had one of those. Yeah.
Crazy pricing on. I mean, I that's blowing my mind.
Because what, like four small pours. What? Most flights are like what? I haven't gotten a flight.
Even
in
if
a
it's 4
while.
ounces, so
Like-
16 ounces total.
It was like $8, $10. Usually.
I think 8 to 10 is normal, right?
For 4, I would think that would be okay because you get the pleasure of trying a bunch, and
Yeah.
it's a little bit more labor intensive than just pouring one beer. Like I get it, whether it be an upcharge of sorts, but not that level. I have not been into. No, my wife was there for a conference and brought me back some stuff 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. But I have not been. I would like to. It seems like a cool place, but I have not been. Have you guys ever been to Indianapolis? No, but I'd like to. I love travel.
Maybe I drove through there one time, but
I dated the girl from there. She was horrible. So that's how that works.
And I'm sure everyone else who lives there is as well.
That's what I mean.
Talking about the great sales price only to be made up on the shipping. I always look at shipping. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
not that a place has to offer free shipping after you spend a certain amount of money, but that is really gnarly that the shipping would be more than the cost of the product when you're spending that much money on the product. If it's
Well, don't buy glassware from Hub Butcher then.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just I was looking at the shipping.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I don't order a ton of beer online. Any stuff I have, just because it seems like, makes sense, because it's not like you're ordering alcohol across state lines. But shipping in general, man. It's like eBay. I love when you try to buy stuff on eBay and be like, oh, this is reasonable. And it's like $85 shipping. They try to like screw you over that way.
Yeah. But I think back to like being a kid and Dad, this is such a good deal. 4 CDs for $10. Whatever. He's like, yeah, but look at the shipping and handling. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is a lot of money, Dad. So I got that life lesson early. I've heard this actually, yeah, because they were shipping. Were they shipping out of state? Maybe I kind of remember.
I think
They
certain states, because I think
shipping in New York.
I think I know some people from Pennsylvania who got shipments from Burial.
You could say Torvik. Nobody knows what that means.
It wasn't Torvik.
I know, I'm joking, but no, I think hasn't Burial's been like off the shelf in PA for a while, hasn't it?
I've seen it in New York.
Not their whole catalog, but like
Yeah.
we can get Barrel stuff up here. But you know, I guess their pricing is pretty like it's kind of like it's not super cheap, but I think it's flat rate, right?
I think I looked into it. I feel like you, at least at some point, you could get it shipped to New York. And I looked into buying something from them. Sean's really into them. Maybe it was Sean who told me.
And then you were like, "Oh wait, I'm no hype. I can't buy this beer."
I think they have enough hype I'm allowed to drink. There's certain things. Like Sean got us those barley wines from them, right? I think that's probably hyped enough I can drink that whenever we all get together and drink this barley wine.
So I thought
I would
I
do
think
that. Yeah.
I thought of a really good like beer tuber like meme. I can't cultivate it into the perfect meme. Do any of you have regular television, like where you flip channels anymore, like cable, satellite, or anything like that?
I literally just like 2 weeks ago cut our cable.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have it here because it's like we're in the middle of nowhere and internet sucks. And, you know, I've figured out the internet issues. We still kind of have it. We have satellite, and I was flipping through yesterday. And what was on was Kill Bill 1. I love Kill Bill 1 and 2. I haven't watched it in a really long time. And I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch it. Like I actually stopped that and went on and found a good quality version of it on the internet. And started watching it. And it's like, remember the part where she goes in to get the sword from Tori Hanzo? And he's like, when she's in and he's like, give me one of these. And he's like, these aren't for sale. And she's like, I didn't say you were gonna sell it to me. I'm like, give it to me. It's like beer tuber mentality. It's like, I'm not gonna buy your beer. Just give it to me. There's a meme in there. There's a meme in there somewhere. I don't know how to cult. Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean. Us cutting a can in half with a samurai sword, saying, "I didn't say I was gonna buy it." You know, something like that or something. I don't know.
I mean, the number of times I've said, "Do you know who I am?" Is a lot.
Yeah. I could hear it all the way down here from Albany.
Here
One
he
time,
comes, get out the free stuff. Yeah. Hot Butcher and Pariah have given me free beer. Yep. 2 breweries.
speaking of, do you know who I am? I was at a beer fest once. I was really fucked up, like a beer festival, and I was drinking. The guy's like, "Oh, you look familiar." I'm like, "Yeah, I come to these a lot." he's like, "Oh no, you're from Nerd Sense." I was like, "Shit," because I was so fucking drunk, I didn't even know what to do. I was wrecked out of my mind.
Yo.
And Sean showed up behind me, and he was just like falling over. And the guy's like, "Oh, I know you guys from." Fuck.
I've seen your Christmas special. This is about right.
I've seen all 7 hours of your Christmas special last year.
Jesus, that was a bad one.
Uh,
Or a good one. I don't know. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Thomas, you say you get Grim shipped. I'm kind of curious about that price point.
Yeah.
Grim is not cheap.
No.
Like they can be cheap, but Great Notion. I mean, that's hype stuff, so it's gonna be whatever. But
Grim makes great beers, though. But yeah, they're definitely not cheap. I find myself now really looking to Tavor for interesting stouts and sours and buy local fresh for IPAs and stuff. Bay Area, California. That's a good place to be. It's a cool way to get beers that otherwise don't make it out here. Yeah. I messed with it for a bit before I did the channel. Yeah, and I liked it a lot. Or maybe even when I first started, I was still buying stuff from them every once in a while. Because, yeah, it's stuff I couldn't get otherwise. It was pretty cool.
yeah.
Got some
Tavor, I think when I first heard about it, people were saying that like some of the stuff that they were sending was like 8 months old or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
But
for
now,
like case and
but
stuff.
now you can just get like Anchorage. You just like Anchorage posts on their thing sometimes. They're like,
Oh,
"Oh,
really?
you can get our beers through Tavor." So,
Yeah. Most, I mean, all the Tavor stuff I've gotten has been sent to me from Tavor. Um, but from, like, actually, I have, like, they sent me a beer mail probably a month and a half ago. I haven't drank one thing out of it. Just because, and by being I sent it to me, I didn't pay anything, so full disclosure. But, um, like, from what I've gathered, now things have changed quite a bit. You almost have to have kind of like a discretionary beer fund in order to use them because of how the whole format works is basically when you buy a beer, a clock starts ticking and you can fill up a box as much as you want, and then when you're ready for it to be shipped, you can say ship it. So it's like I think it's like $15. So it's like if you get 2 cases, it's $15. If you get one beer, it's $15. Doesn't matter what the hell you
Yeah.
buy. It's just $15. But the one cool thing which I didn't know, which happened from my last unboxing, is I guess on their website when you purchase a beer, it has the exact can bottle date on the site now. So
oh,
you know the exact time and date
That's
of.
nice.
That's what somebody told me. I didn't actually
Yeah.
research that myself, so I can't say that for sure. But somebody actually told me they're like, nah. When you go and buy stuff from them, it actually lists the exact date it was canned or bottled on there. And to be honest, all the stuff they sent me stuff from lager to IPA to stout. I don't think I've gotten. And the only thing I think I got over 2 months old was like a big burly stout that you wouldn't mind being
yeah.
have a couple months on it. Like all the IPs were 6 weeks younger and less and stuff like that. So
I'm okay with that. How
yeah,
about this one? Any breweries out in Montana you can think of?
I didn't know there were people in Montana.
there's a brewery in Montana. I can't think of it, but somebody sent me stuff. I'm gonna look it up and see if it jogs my memory.
Yeah, you stumped me, Thomas, about Montana Brewery. Yeah, nothing's jumping on my mind. But yeah, Anchorage. I haven't had a ton of their stuff, but what I have had has been great. Mountains Walking is great. Mountains Walking, maybe. Is it pronounced Bosman? Bozeman?
Yeah, nothing. When I type in Google, just like Montana breweries, nothing's really kind
No.
of like ticking. Like there's
Yeah.
stuff like you said like there's breweries that are I don't think I've ever had anything from, but I just heard of before. You know, like Bozeman, like I said, I know I've heard that. You know, there's Butte Brewing, but I don't know if I'm thinking of Black Butte. You know, Big Sky
Yeah.
Brewing. Is it just because I know the word term Big Sky, but nothing I can actually remember.
The guys from Tired Hands or Other Half.
Mountain Walking Brewing. Did they? No, that's the He's talking about Tavor. We actually get mountain walking stuff on and on our shelves here.
So maybe this is a Mountains Walking, according to Finnegan, a former
They're
Other
yeah
Half
yeah
brewer.
yeah. We get the stuff off a shelf actually off the shelf. If not in Jersey, we get it's over in PA because I'm so close. But their stuff, there's a lot of like pastry stouty. Yeah, yeah. I've reviewed a couple of their beers. They've all the beers I reviewed, I believe, have come from Tavor. And this mountain walking stuff, like you could find them, like Keith, if you go over into like whatever the Staples area of PA, you could find a lot of their 4 packs, and they tend to be really expensive for a 4 pack. So there are a
Okay.
lot of like milkshake, hazy, sour IPA stuff like that. But Keith,
Yeah.
there's a new little bottle shop in downtown Stroudsburg. I think,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they like that's the place I said Equilibrium was like relatively mad cheap. They got a decent selection there.
Where is it?
So it's almost on the corner of like Main Street and 9th Street. Or the main street in that, like if you're driving down 611 from Aldi's, it's on your left hand side right before you get to Main Street.
Oh,
I think that Brewski's beverage owns it, but it's like their selection is like like really good. Like when I popped in there looking for stuff, I picked up the Sam Adams there. The non-alcoholic stuff. They had like the new Sunday morning stout. It was like a 4-pack of the Sunday morning stout was like $15. You know what I
With the
mean? Like
rebrewing
stuff.
Sunday morning stout.
Yeah, I picked up a 4-pack. I want to review it after I start reviewing beers. It's an old bottle, the old style. Like I'm
it's
kind of,
old.
yeah, I'm kind of
Oh.
curious to see if it's really good.
Okay, I didn't realize they were rebrewing that beer.
I didn't either until I saw it.
Okay, you just kind of blew
Oh
my
wait,
mind.
so is it old or is it new?
No, it's new, but it's
Okay.
like the same bottle art, the whole nine, like nothing.
Oh.
You know how they started to do like I think they did cans one year, and they started doing like salted pretzel this, and all kinds of.
Oh, yeah,
It's just it's Sunday morning stout. It's the old label. It looks exactly like the old bottle. You know, the whole nine. So I'm curious to see what it tastes like.
That beer, I love that beer. Oh man, okay.
I freaked out over that beer. If you go watch my original review of that, I freak out. Like I freak out.
Man, the level of coffee and chocolate in that beer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You okay? You made my day. I did not know that existed, and now I hope that comes its way to the capital region of New York State. So,
I honestly, it had because Weyerbacher has changed like drastically from when that was originally brewed. Because they're now like they do like wider distro, I think now. But if you don't get it, just let me know. I mean, like I said, it was $15 for a 4-pack. I'm sure I could send you one for fun.
their prices were good back in the day too.
But I think it was cheaper now than it was back then. I think
Yeah.
it was like 16 or 17 for a 4-pack. It's even cheaper now. No, it could be hot garbage for all I know. But
Yeah.
you know,
You
They
just
had-
again.
Oh, never mind.
Keith, you were gonna say
Oh,
something.
actually, shit.
I was gonna
Well, I was
say.
gonna get going too, but Keith had something. I didn't want to.
Oh yeah, we can end on this. I know in 2014, I think, or 2016. One of them. Weyerbacher had distro in Maine because I remember seeing it on a shelf, and I was like, "What is that doing up here?"
I mean, I don't know why they had their issues with finances or whatever, but like they had a lot of beer I really enjoyed. So
Yeah.
if they're able to brew that stuff at the same level, I'm super stoked on that. So
no, it sounds like from what I've talked to the breweries I talked to, because they do a lot of contracting now. So what happened to the brewery is they made a bunch of beer. Beer started to explode. They tried to expand, but they stayed super old school. Like everything was always in bottles, and they didn't change any recipes. And it just was like, our shit's good. You know, we'll be fine. We have double Simcoe in a bottle. Let's do it. And this didn't change. By the time they figured that they had to change, it was too late. So they got bought out by a private company. And that private company basically, you know, without being specific, they basically cut the company in half and said, okay, now we're going to contract for half our facility. The other half, we're going to do Weyerbacher. We're going to bring it back on the come up and make it do like good stuff. You know what I mean? Smart. You know, so they do like a lot of funk brewing down by us. Bomb Place does their contracting there now. Like, there's a bunch of breweries that do like local to that area, not like super huge contracting stuff. Do a bunch of their extra facility stuff there. Well, Weyerbacher not only makes their beers and is doing them well, they had a really nice tap room too. It's pretty big and pretty fun and stuff like that. They're bringing that all back. So it seems like the company itself is making strides back to becoming a better beer company in general, while also doing business smartly. So
yeah,
I'm expecting Sunday Morning Stout to be tasty AF. Let's put it that way.
I'm stoked. Yeah, I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm. Glad I got to drop that bomb.
Yeah, no, no. Thanks for. I thought hanging out with me would be the highlight of my evening, but that
SMS.
information trumps the three of you. So no. Just to wrap this up, the way I began it, yeah, I was almost losing my mind in boredom. I'm not getting choked up after cough. But so I really appreciate just some socialization and good conversation and everything. And it was nice having people in the comment section or the live stream. I mean, talking and the chat. So yeah, Matt, Mike, Keith, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, guys. Good seeing you. Good
Thank you,
hanging
dude.
out. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day. And whenever you're watching this, hope your life is wonderful. Imbibe.
Imbibe.
Bye, guys.